We work hard to create profit and put it to the bottom line in our operations. Having a strong cash flow or having cash on hand when needed allows us to pay our vendors, pay associates, purchase new equipment and small wares, or even expand our operations. But if our money is tied up on our shelves in inventory, our cash resource is limited until our inventory has been sold and our investment becomes liquid again. In running an efficient operation, our goal is to always have an adequate amount of product on hand to prevent shortages. When we don't maintain the proper amount of product in inventory, we risk the loss of revenue due to missed sales opportunities and upsetting our guests. On the other hand, having too much inventory is just as harmful as not maintaining proper levels of product. While over-ordering may give you the sense of security of knowing that you have plenty of product on hand, having an endless supply of products may lead to increased usage and waste, spoilage, or even theft. Most importantly, we reduce our cash flow opportunities by tying up our money, having it sit in our storerooms and refrigerators. Our inventory is our investment, and is money sitting on the shelf. It's possible to hit your target monthly food cost percentage and still have an excessive amount of product in inventory. Remember, food cost is based on usage and not on your purchases. Two simple tools you can use to determine if you are holding too much product in inventory are days in inventory and inventory turns. These ratios measure how many times the operation's average inventory has been turned over during a specified period. Days in inventory is an efficiency ratio that measures the average number of days an operation takes to turn over its average inventory levels. This ratio is important because it measures the number of days the operation's cash flow is tied up in inventory. The time standard in the food service industry for days in inventory is between 7 and 10 days, with the lower the number representing a better performance of controlling inventory and purchasing. Like days in inventory, the measurement of inventory turns is an efficiency ratio that represents how effectively an operation is controlling and using its inventory. The inventory turnover ratio measures how many times your operation sold its total average inventory during a specific period. A high inventory turnover number usually means that products are sold faster and not sitting on a shelf. Although if the number is too high, this may suggest that not enough inventory is being maintained. A low turnover rate indicates weak sales or excessive inventory on hand, and may indicate that you're over-purchasing food and holding too much product in-house. The food service industry standard for an efficient operation is between 4 and 8 turns per month. Let's take a look at the days in inventory sheet. You'll need some information from your operating sheet, such as the ending inventory amount from the week you're tracking, and the weekly product usage amount. Let's start by entering the basic information. Using the drop-down box, select the month or period you're tracking. Next, enter the current year. Again, using the drop-down box, enter the day of the week that your accounting week ends. If you operate Monday through Sunday, select Sunday as your week ending day. You'll see that the week ending dates will auto-populate in the week ending column. You'll want to start in the row with the ending date for the time period you are tracking. Next, enter the number of operating days that were in the week that you're tracking. In this example, there were 3 operating days in this week. Enter the ending inventory for those 3 days. This means you should have conducted an inventory and have an ending inventory for December and then another inventory for the first 3 days of the new period. Finally, we'll enter the amount of usage we had in products for this week. Weekly usage can be calculated as beginning inventory, which is your ending inventory from the prior week, plus any purchase you had for this period, minus your ending inventory. This will give you your weekly usage. One thing to remember about calculating your usage: whatever you include in your ending inventory totals, you will need to make sure you include in your purchases for the period. Meaning, if your paper goods and beverages are included in your inventory totals, you will need to make sure you include them in your purchasing totals. You will repeat this process for the remainder of the period until you have entered the information for all the weeks. You can see that for the period that your average inventory amount is turned every 9 days. With an industry target of 7 to 10 days, you fall within that period, though a lower number of days would be more ideal. On the next tab, you'll see inventory turns. This ratio shows how many times within a period you turn over your average inventory, with a higher number representing a better performance. Start by entering the month or period you are calculating, followed by the current year. This calculation is typically completed at month end, though it can be done weekly, quarterly, or yearly. Cost of goods is your usage for the period or time frame which you are calculating. Your beginning inventory will be your prior month's ending inventory. Next, enter your ending inventory for the period. It will calculate your average inventory amount, and in this example, it shows that you turned your average inventory amount 3.5 times for the period. Remember, in this calculation, a higher number is more desirable, but in days in inventory, you want to achieve a lower number. Producing a profit is what we all aim to achieve, and controlling inventory is a great way to ensure that our cash is available when we need it. Calculating your days in inventory and your inventory turnover ratios as part of your regular routine is a reliable way to track purchases, usage, and improving the operation's cash flow. The more you know about how your operation is performing, the better you can manage it to minimize loss and improve profitability.